love this. I love this outro. Very cool. One of my favorite Dimebag things. My guitar player Vog would do this as part of his solo. I always thought it was so good. Some classic Dime right there. Song Floods off of the Great Southern Trendkill. But that outro is always goosebumps for me, man. Always goosebumps. Right now we're going to do, if you're listening in the future, today, we're recording this on Monday the 7th, but this is dropping on the 8th. It'll be the 16th anniversary since Dimebag departed this planet and departed his mortal shell. And just felt like doing a tribute. I was thinking about it. I knew it was coming up. And I don't know if I get necessarily sad around this time, but it's on my mind. You know, he's on my mind. The moment's on my mind. It's a horrible day. And, I just thought it'd be cool to talk about him, share some stories, share some of my tour stories with Dime. You know, I toured with him for 3.5 months when he was in Pantera, and then did numerous festival shows with him as he was in Damageplan and Pantera. And I was thinking, I was like, I could do it myself. You know, I did the Eddie Van Halen tribute myself, but I was thinking about, I was like, who could I get on here? Who could I get talking about it? And I'm bringing on my friend Thrashin Alan, who is somebody who I got to know, I think because of Dimebag. We became friends. And so I was like, I should get Thrashin Alan on here. Thrashin Alan is a DJ in Dallas, Texas. And he has got one of the best radio voices you're ever going to hear. Right? Right. I'm telling you right now, his fucking radio voice is so goddamn good.
Thank you.
I got to turn you down. It's so much bass in there.
All right, I'll move this motherfucker across the board here.
I'll just turn you down. I love it. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, with the somber occasion tomorrow, on the 8th, yeah, it's like you said, it's always in our mind, you know, it's always in the back of our mind. And, 16 years later, the day never gets any easier. You know, it's one of those dark days in history, and, you know, being a friend to him was, it brings it all back around whenever December 8th comes around, man. It brings it back. So, you know, I applaud you for doing it.
I like your shrine that you have behind us right now. This is a good view. This is a good view right here.
If you could see, dude, if you could see the inscription on the double platinum up there, that was one thing that I always loved about Dime, besides him being the extraordinary rock star that he was. He was a fucking comedian, you know, as much as anything else. You know, he's a fucking comedian. So on that inscription, instead of saying Thrashin Alan, it said Trashin Alan. So he took the H out of Thrashin, so I would get that for my Christmas present. That was supposed to be my Christmas present, I think, on Christmas of 2004. And
oh, nice.
Didn't happen, so I got it the next year.
Okay, gotcha. Wow. That's vulgar. Is that vulgar right there? It's hard to see.
It is. That is.
Yeah.
Double platinum.
Rad. Double platinum. What are the albums you got back there?
Got the Pantera 3 video award back there. I've got a hi-hat and a bunch of magazine covers that Vinny put together and gave me for Christmas a few years ago, like 3 years ago. And then I got my Dime Vision Part 1 plaque, 100,000 plaque back there. And some badass Dime guitars that friends have given me through the years as presents. Unfortunately, I can't play a fucking lick on the things, but hey, they look good on the wall.
They do look damn good on the wall. I don't even know if I've seen that. Is that camo? It's hard to.
Yeah, it is the
Yeah, okay.
Dimeflage.
Camouflage. Badass. When did you meet Dime? Did you know them like when they were kind of the glammy with Terry
Oh
Terry
yeah.
guy singing? Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah. I saw him for the very first time in a club in Fort Worth called Savvy's, one of the first places that they played a lot. Back in 1984, 85 was the first time that I saw him. And then when
Way early days.
early major spandex.
Jungle, yeah, major spandex. Major, really high hair, major spandex.
Oh yeah, man. Dime's hair was very tough. Everybody's seen the pictures, man. There's no hiding that. Yeah, brother had some huge hair going on back in those days. And he weighed about 100 pounds, man. He was a little bitty guy.
Yeah. Crazy. So this was were they playing originals at this point, or was it still covers?
They would do a full set of originals, and then they would take a break, and then they'd come back and do a full set of covers, and then sometimes take another break and come back and do a second set of covers. So if the bar had hired them out for the whole night, then a lot of times you would get 3 sets out of them, but for sure 2. So it was pretty fucking incredible back in those days, hearing some of the covers that they were able to bust out with.
I mean, they were all pretty young. You must have been pretty young. Were they just like, they were just local guys and you were like, you heard about them and so you went and checked them out at a club back in the day?
Yeah, actually, I was roadieing for a local band that was opening for them at that bar, and I was not yet old enough to be in the club whenever the shit went down. So we came in as roadies and loaded up the set and fucking had to go stay behind this thing like you see in that fucking Roadhouse movie, man. I had a fenced off area, floor to ceiling, for the underage people to go stand behind. So I watched my band I roadie for from over there, and then when we took the shit off the stage, I ran back over there so I could witness Pantera, because all the guys in the band I was roadieing for was like, they're the fucking shit, man. They just rule the scene, man. And while we were setting up, Benny Paul walked in that day and everybody stopped. They were like, oh, there's VP, man. There he goes. That's the best businessman in all of the fucking bands in the Metroplex right here, man. So anyway, yeah, it was a crazy day. And that was my first chance to really get to see Dime.
Huh. That's funny. I never really heard that kind of. I don't really know too many of the early Pantera, because there was 5 albums
right
before power metal.
Right.
Talking before fucking Cowboys. And so, but I knew, I mean, we knew of them. I knew of them because I was in Violence, and Violence was touring. And whenever we went through Texas, I know what you're talking about, because when I first toured through Texas, I also wasn't old enough to be in the venue. Like, I could get up, I'm playing the venue, but like I can only go up on stage, and then I got to immediately leave the venue and just sit in the fucking van or talk to girls out front or whatever, because I'm not allowed to be in the fucking bar.
Double-edged sword there, huh?
But so those guys were, but so they had a buzz, like people knew. I mean, but even then, like Pantera had a buzz, like we heard about it. We just, to us, they were kind of posers, like it was like glammy, like super high hair. We're like, really? Like by this time we were like super thrash. So it was, to us, it was kind of funny. But everybody was like, dude, you got to see this band though. The fucking guitar player is amazing, like all this shit. So we had heard it. But that's interesting that in 1984, good 4 years before I'm even introduced to them, that they already have a buzz, and that Dimebag already has a buzz. He's not Dimebag at this point though, right? He's
right. Diamond Darrell. Diamond Darrell Lance. Yeah, buddy. So yeah, it was there was a few years there where the club scene they were the kings of it. They had the fucking crowds from hell. And because every club owner knew if they got Pantera for that weekend, they would try to book them for the whole weekend and shit, Friday and Saturday night both, because they knew damn well they would pack the fucking club, man, full blown. And they did each time. So it was a hell of a time, man. And getting to be president when the record labels started sending out representatives, sending out A&R people to check them out that was amazing.
Were you friends that, like, were you I mean, I know you were seeing them back then at this time, but are you hanging out with them? Like, or were they?
No, hell no. Unfortunately, not. Damn it! I would I would get to watch all of their best friends load up in a big convoy after the show and fucking haul ass for their house, and never was friends with them then, so didn't get the invite, man. It was till years later, till the middle '90s when I was getting my start in radio at Z-Rock, and I started becoming friends with them then. A little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And then when I moved on to the station I've been with now for 25 years, I became, our friendship became solidified then. You know, a lot of that had to do with Rita. Rita and Dime's best friend decided to open their own club back in late 96, early 97, called the Tattoo Bar. And once she was there every single night and his best friend was there every single night, then when he wasn't on the road, he was there every single night. So it became a thing of, well, let's go to the Tattoo Bar. Dime's probably there. We go hang out and do some shots and, you know, see what transpires. And the bands that I was singing in at the time was playing that club. And that was the most fucking nerve-wracking time in my entire life, was being on stage with my mic in hand, singing and looking over and seeing Dime like 3 feet away, fucking just sitting there, just looking at me, you know, like, can he pull it off? Is he doing it? Motherfucker, all right, man. After it was over, he'd be like, that was some fucking heavy shit you were singing, Thrashing. Goddamn, you people need to pull off fucking Hostile or something, man. I was like, I was singing Napalm Death and Sepultura and Slayer and shit like that. So he was like, if you could sing that shit, you could do Pantera. I'm like, well, fuck yeah, man. Later I did, but you know, it was after the fact. Unfortunately, he never got the chance to see me do it, but it was a beautiful time to start getting to know him and solidifying our friendship during the late 90s while Rita was running that club. And we would get to leave at night. We'd get the private invite and everybody'd get a personal bird in their ears and, hey, party at the house, you know, party at the fortress, you know, don't tell nobody, but you and your old lady can come over. So me and my wife got to go over there, and slowly but surely, you know, became really, really close friends. And, you know, I was there in the end of the Pantera days, and the most beautiful time was watching him build Damageplan from the ground up, watching him I mean, it was hard for him. Don't get me wrong. You know, it was sad and it was hard for him, but getting to watch him build a band from the ground up was pretty fucking amazing. And the passion that he had for Damageplan and all the shit that he went through, trying to find the singer, trying to name the band. I would get phone calls, crazy ass phone calls of all hours. Thrashing, check this out, man. What do you think about this fucking name right here, man? All right, get a grip, man. Here it goes. Hellborn. I was like, all right, well, that's pretty cool, man. That sounds metal. I can dig that. All right, I think we're going to go. And then a couple days later, all right, check this out, man. We got this other one, man. Gunmetal Black, man. What do you think about that? Gunmetal Black. I was like, well, right on, dude. That's fucking cool too, man. But it was just a process, you know. It was just a fucking crazy process, and they finally named it. And just watching him try to find singers for the fucking band was some of the most hilarious times, because he would try out people at random anywhere we went, man. When he was off the road, you know, we were always going to local fucking small little bars in the neighborhood or whatever near where he lived. And anybody that would come in there that would fucking look anything like they might be cool or might be able to sing, he'd be like, hey dude, come over here, man. Let me see what you got. All right, say this, recite this line right here, man. Lost and never found. And I don't know what he was hearing in his mind. I think it was the line in Lady Evil from Black Sabbath where Ronnie sings that real powerful, you know, toward the end of the song. So I think that's what he had in his head, and he was hearing that, and he was, so like everybody.
Voice. Yeah.
Yeah, but he never found that Ronnie James Dio. My God, he found all kinds of bad fucking ass people that wanted the job. And hell, I tried to set him up with my buddy Tim Ripper Owens, and that came close to fucking happening. But yeah, all in all, he finally settled with Lockman and did his thing with him. But it was some hilarious times watching people just go, "You want me to sing for you? What? Man, dude, I haven't warmed up or nothing. Fuck warming up, motherfucker. Just bust out with it, man. Let's see what you got." Oh, fuck. And he would always hit me with that shit when I wasn't warmed up. "Come on, Thrashing, see what you got." I'm like, "Man, you know I'm a death metal type singer, dude. I'm never going to fit in your band. Come on, just bust out with it anyway." All right, whatever. Crazy motherfucker. Some of the greatest times we had, like I said, just him being a comedian, man, just laughing at him and with him, and fuck.
I mean, I remember going, I want to say I met you. It was definitely, I mean, it was Pantera was still going. It was at the Clubhouse for sure. So it would have been like late 90s, early 2000s or something.
I think it was 98, 99, 2000, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, because I want to say, because I remember specifically one time, because we toured with them in '97, so almost all of '97 we toured with them, and then did festivals, and then we did Ozfest, and then we supported them on their the live album tour, and so, but I met him in '92. I met him on Vulgar when they were opening for Skid Row. Nice. Actually, I might have met him when they headlined on Cowboys. They came through and they played the Stone in San Francisco, just a small club. I met him for a second there, and then I met him again when they opened for Skid Row. And we were just talking, and we were talking guitar players, and we were talking Warren DeMartini from Rat, the guitar player from Rat, who sick guitar player. And he had borrowed a couple of little Warren DeMartini lines and a couple of leads on that record. And I was just like, man, I hear a couple of Warren DeMartini things going on there. He's like, "Oh, did you catch that?" He's like, "Did you catch that?" And I'm like, I caught that. I was like, that was a good steal, man. Because you're always stealing from somebody. You're taking little bits in here, a little Eddie Van Halen, a little DeMartini, a little Iommi or whatever, Kirk Hammett, Gary Holt, whoever. But it was funny. He was just like, "Oh, you caught that, huh?" He was like surprised, like a thrash dude catching a Warren DeMartini lick. But and then I didn't see him for a few years after that, and then we started touring with them, and so we got to know them then. And he invited, I want to say the first time we really hung out and like got drunk and raged was on that Ozfest. And he invited Logan and I into the dressing room to just do shots and hang out. We were just hanging around. Logan and I were just walking around, and he's like, "Come on," he's like, "Let's do some shots, man. Machine Head, fuck yeah, let's fucking die." He brought it in, and it was such a fucking cool vibe, because it was just fucking loud and crazy, and there was a lot of rules on that particular Ozfest. But their dressing room, his dressing room, it wasn't their dressing room, it was him and Vinnie Paul's dressing room was really fucking rowdy. I mean, it was rowdy as fuck. And so he came in and we did shots, and it was like, you just kind of felt like you made it into this cool club or something. You know what I mean? Like it was just this, you know what I mean though? Like, we're hanging out. Like this is a fucking rowdy night. Like Vinny's with strippers and fucking it's just crazy. People are gambling and fucking dice and money and fucking, it was just nuts. And it was fun. We ended up hanging out quite a bit. I think we bonded over guitars, a lot, like talking guitars and talking guitar players and stuff like that. And even though I guess people don't necessarily, for some reason, like people don't view me as the guitar, like I'm a guitar player first.
Yeah, you are.
Like by years, so I was just a guitar player for my first two bands. Wow. And so I think always in my, if you were to analyze my psyche, like I'm a guitar player who sings, like I'm not a singer, like I'm just a guitar player who sings. And that's how I view myself. And so we talk about that, a lot of talk about Van Halen. And I remember in particular one night we came in and we were, I forget what, I mean, we would have been videotapes then. Somebody had given me a videotape that I had already seen. But I rewatched it again, and it was Van Halen live at the US Festival back
Nice.
in 80. I don't know. It was like, I
83.
don't know what. Yeah, 83. There you go. Good one. And I had already seen it back as a kid, but just watching it again, and I was like, holy shit! It was a fucking, it's a mess. And it's amazing all at the same time. And David Lee Roth like, I forgot the fucking words. And some dude's talking shit. He's like, hey man, shut the fuck up. I'm gonna fuck your girlfriend tonight. We were just like, it's so fucking over the top and funny. And Eddie Van Halen's killing it. So I came up and I was talking to him. I'm like, dude, I watched I was like, I saw this before, but I hadn't seen it in forever. And I watched that Van Halen US Festival show. Somebody gave me a video and he's like, did you see God? This is answer. Did you see God? And I was like, it was pretty fucking incredible, dude. He was like, no, you just saw God. I was like, yeah. But like those are the kind of answers that I always like that he would give you, like this kind of deadpan, funny, but like this deadpan answer. You know what I mean?
Dude, he just had a way about him, man. His damn personality was just like nobody else, man. I've never crossed paths with anybody in this world. And I met a lot of fucking people too. I've never crossed paths with nobody like Dime. I mean, there's some people that try to be that way and try to be fucking crazy as hell, and a lot of times it works, whatever. But he was one of a kind, man. There is no doubt. He was absolutely one of a fucking kind.
Oh yeah, he was just on all the time.
Yeah, that's why I think when him and Zakk became friends, him and Zakk Wylde, it was a perfect marriage of friendships there, because while Zakk was drinking and Dime was drinking, they were fucking. So one of my favorite stories, man, just if I can run through it real quick.
Share them all. Like, let's get them all out. That's what this whole tribute's about.
So my good buddy Jason Blackie calls me and says, hey man, fucking my friend Zakk is going to be in town in Arlington for the Arlington Guitar Show. This was in 02. He's going to be in town
Zakk
for
Wylde.
he's going to be in town doing autographs for a guitar show. So he's like, you want to come over and meet me at the hotel? We're going to hang out with him afterwards and shit, go up to his room, hang out, and trying to get Dime and Rita to get it worked out so we can hang out with them later, because he really wants to hang out with Dime. And it was before they really had solidified their friendship.
They don't really know each other.
Yeah, they barely do. They'd met a couple of times, I guess, but it hadn't really raged. So we go and we do our thing with Zakk, and he goes up to his room, practice a couple hours. So we sit down in the lobby and fucked off and waited for Dime and Rita to get there. Well, Dime and Rita get there and fucking valet the vehicle. And when they walk in the door, everybody in the lobby of the fucking hotel is like, motherfucking Dimebag, Darrell. And they all just fucking start bolting from the bar to wherever, just to fucking surround Dime. And he's like, whoa, I ain't even part of this motherfucker, man. I'm just coming to visit somebody, man. But goddamn, all right, man. I got my Sharpie, whipped it out, and fucking signed some autographs on our way to the elevator and shit. So we go get past all of that and go upstairs to Zakk's room. And for the next 2 hours, we like sit around. It was just me and my friend Blackie and Diamond Rita and Zakk and his then manager, Timmy Bolin. And we just sit around and we listen to Dime and Zakk tell tour stories about how much, what was the highest bill that they had racked up at a hotel from damaging shit.
Oh, that's killer.
Dude, that was an amazing story. Needless to say, well, everybody in the room was just sitting there quiet as a mouse, just fucking listening intently, going, motherfucker, I can't believe this. This shit would never get talked about live.
Go tell the story. What was the most expensive bill?
Oh man, I think for Zakk it was around 50 grand. Him and Ozzy had racked up about 50 grand throwing fucking TV sets off of fucking hotel balconies and shit.
Nice.
But I think Dimes, I'm pretty sure that he said that, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that he racked up around a 23 grand bill in Japan. I'm pretty sure that was the deal. on one of their last, I think it was on the one of the last tours for Pantera, if not the last one. They went to Japan, and I heard the tale that they took all the fucking light bulbs up and down the hallway of the hotel of the level they were on, took out all the light bulbs in the hallway, took them apart, filled them up with smokeless gunpowder, fucking put them back on, and fucking they were blowing up fucking light bulbs left and right all over the damn place. Anyway, on the damage, just to skip ahead to the Damageplan tour, man, fucking I've got pictures of the hotel room that they got sued for fucking trashing. It wasn't really that bad. It just trashed it a little bit. I put a few holes in the wall here and there. I think I can remember a pack of cigarettes being stuck in a hole in the fucking wall that he threw. And it freaked out these people at the hotel in Japan so fucking bad that they called ahead to all the other cities that they were about to play in and fucking gave them the lowdown, said, don't let these guys stay in your hotel. They're going to fucking tear it up. So when they got the train, got to the next city, they were like, sorry, we can't put you up here.
Oh my God.
You fucking tear shit up, man. Can't do it. Just one of the crazy deals. But back to the Zakk story, man. It was a beautiful night in the fact that once we left the guitar show deal, we went to Dallas to go see Thin Lizzy, who was in town playing at a small club. And we go in and fucking, Zakk starts ordering up trays and trays of shots and beers. And we got there like toward the end of Thin Lizzy's set. So saw about 4 songs. And when it was over, they were like, hey man, you grab that tray there and carry it back to the fucking dressing room. Well, in this club, it was a shit ass little fucking closet of a dressing room. So all the guys would walk straight off stage, out front of the club, down the sidewalk into their bus. So I'm carrying this fucking tray of Coronas and Black Tooths and shit. And we find that the band ain't in the dressing room. And Zakk's like, well, fuck that, dude. We're going to the fucking bus. Dime's like, you heard him, man. Come on. I'm like, dude, and you got a security guard going, you can't take that fucking tray of drinks out onto the street. Like, you tell that big fucking guy right there that you can't do that. And he tried to, and Zakk's like, fuck that shit. I ain't hearing it, bro. Come on, bring that shit. Took it on the bus and shit, and fucking he tried to pass them out. And everybody, did a shot except for Tommy fucking Aldridge, man. And I was sitting there across from Dime and Tommy Aldridge, and fucking I finally looked over at Dime, and he's just sitting there with the shit-eating grin fucking looking at me. And he's like, what are you thinking? I said, fuck, I'm thinking I'm sitting across from a motherfucker that I worshiped as a kid who fucking shared a stage with the great fucking Randy Rhoads. That's what I'm thinking. He goes, motherfucker, I knew you was thinking something like that. And he goes, God, too bad this motherfucker won't do a shot, man. He turns to him, and Tommy Aldridge is eating grapes, man. He was just sitting there fucking eating grapes. And Dime's like, how about some wine or something? Tommy just kept shaking his head. No, thank you, man. No, thank you. No, thank you. He's like, well, goddamn, man, you getting enough of them fucking grapes, man. Y'all be getting a wine buzz or something off of them. Fuck. It was just a total trip, man. We leave there, and Tommy didn't go with us, but fucking John Sykes and Marco Mendoza go with us to the clubhouse. So we leave the Galaxy Club in Deep Ellum. We go to the clubhouse, close that motherfucker down, and then he said, let's go back to the Fortress, man. Got fucking plenty of booze. We're gonna rage till the fucking sun comes up. So we all haul ass back to the Fortress, and we're fucking completely plowed at this point, man. It's probably 5 o'clock in the morning, and he tells the guys, hey, I got this new bed, man. Y'all motherfuckers got to come in here in my bedroom, check out my new bed, man. It's a Simmons brand bed, so he called it his Gene Simmons Beauty Rest. He said, you motherfuckers got to come in here and check out this fucking Gene Simmons Beauty Rest. All right, cool. So we go in there, and fucking everybody sits on it for a second. Like, all right, right on, man, cool. He's like, no, man, you got to get the real feel for it, man. Back up here across the room, man, and take a running, flying leap and jump on this motherfucker. And so everybody looked at him like, what? Nah, you're just drunk, man. So we backed up, and he said, well, I'll go first, fuck. So he goes and flies up across the room like Superman, fucking tumbles across the bed onto the fucking floor. And John Sykes was like, well, fuck it, mate. I'll fucking go too, man. And he fucking jumps and fucking runs, and Margot Mendoza does it, and then I do it. And so we're like fucking kids of 6 years old, man, having a sleepover, and we're taking turns just running and jumping on this fucking bed. And that lasted at least 30, 40 minutes, man. Just total, like, just childlike, man. It was fucking beautiful.
Zakk still there? Zakk is still here jumping on the bed?
So Zakk is jumping on the bed, and he's about putting holes in the walls because, you know, he wears big heavy ass boots and shit. So he's fucking rolling, slamming in the wall, and he's a fucking monster. So anyway, it was totally crazy, man. At the end of it all, after we get done with all that, the Marco and John take off on a cab, get back to the Dallas, and fucking Zakk says, you know, my plane leaves at like 11 a.m. So let's fucking keep drinking. So, God, man, we keep drinking. Well, then Zakk falls asleep for about an hour or two. Well, he missed his flight. So his manager, Timmy, was constantly on the phone from fucking calling the airline, trying to fucking get him on another one, because his wife was trying to get his ass home to LA.
Timmy's the manager's there too?
Right. Timmy's there too, and thank God for Timmy, man. Timmy's fucking trying to keep it under control. Well, fucking Zakk wakes up, man, and he's like, well, fucking pour another round. So Dime had just been fucking pacing around waiting, man. So he had a tray waiting. We start drinking again. By this time, it's like 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning. And Dime says, hey, man, I got a fucking truck outside, man. Let's go outside and fucking do some donuts in the grass and shit. Lo and behold, Dave Stage of Drowning Pool, who had died about a year before that, fucking Dime had Dave Stage's pickup truck, old ass junked out Chevy truck. So Dime and Zakk start fucking going up and down the driveway, and they tell me, get the video camera rolling, Thrashing. So I'm trying to fucking video them, man. They're going up and down the driveway in this truck, fucking, and Dime's got a round fucking driveway. And so they're doing donuts around the motherfucker, and there was a tree in the middle of that circular driveway. Well, Zakk fucking jumps the curb and bam, fucking just takes out the tree. The tree was only, you know, it wasn't very big, but he fucking took it out and it smashed it up against the fence into the shrubs. They back out. Shrubs are all trashed and shit, man. They're like, let's move to the backyard. So they drive down the driveway to the fucking backyard. Well, they get the fucking thing stuck in the fucking wet grass. It's, you know, Sunday morning, it's fucking October. The fucking grass was all wet. They get the fucking thing stuck. So I've got video of fucking Dime in the motherfucker driving it, and Zakk on the back of the tailgate jumping up and down like a fucking monster trying to get traction. And then Dime looks over, he goes, dude, I got some of them old Pantera stage grates over there on the side of the fucking place, man. Go grab a couple of them motherfuckers, Thrashing. All right, go grab a couple of fucking old Pantera stage grates that were leaning up against the fucking building. And we shove them down up under the wheel and fucking
you're talking about the metal grates that they would stand on.
Right.
Stage.
Right. It was totally ridiculous, man. He's fucking put stage grates, and he's trying to put bricks on top of them, and then he's like, wait a minute, hold up a minute. If one of them bricks catches traction, man, that motherfucker's liable to just take old Dime completely out, man. Fuck that. So he throws the bricks, and anyway, it took for fucking ever, man. They just played like fucking kids, man. Just the two of them had the best fucking time. And I was so proud to have shot the video for that. And then I watched the motherfucker back, and the whole video is just shaking like a motherfucking leaf because I'm just laughing uncontrollably and just giggling like a fucking kid the whole time, man. It was incredible. Motherfucker looked at the video and he's going, God damn, you could have held that motherfucker a little bit more steady there, Thrashing. What the fuck, man?
Hire a video guy next time.
Yeah, right. In the middle of Sunday morning, fucking when the spur of the moment deal, you never know what Dime was going to wake up and say, well, fuck, we got nothing to do. Let's do this. Anything to get.
You think about that too, because you always, like, you looked at those videos, and it seemed like he was always kind of leading the charge. Let's get a bunch of paper machine. Let's get some wire and make a giant paper machine weed leaf, or, you know, like, just like, let's do, like, I've never thought of doing that. Like, in all of my years of touring, ever gone like, hey, let's get some wire and make a fucking giant wheel. But you know, he did, like, just like mind going like that all the time. It's fucking funny, man.
Anything to pass the time, man. He was not good with boredom whatsoever. That's why I really, really wonder what life would have been like for him during this fucking pandemic. I don't think that he would have done isolation very well.
Yeah, probably be losing his mind. Yeah, I mean, no shows, no clubhouse, no, and like all of that. I mean, I don't know if it's, I mean, venues are shut down, right, in Texas right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Strip clubs?
for the most part. Yeah. We got some clubs open that are like half fucking restaurant, half bar, but
Okay.
our hospital rate has been high as a motherfucker, above the supposed 15%. So this past Thursday we got shut down again until it goes back down again. So yeah, back to stay-at-home orders and shit like you people out there in California are getting to hear these days, huh?
They just shut it down hard last night. 10
Damn,
p.m.
that fucking sucks, man.
You know, look, I never realized what a hermit I was until the world went into the pandemic. I'm like, my life's not really that different. Like, I don't do anything. I go to the studio, I rehearse, I write, whatever. I work, because I'm, if I'm doing work, I'm working from home because I'm in a band,
Right.
Bands that have a fucking office somewhere, like you just do it all from your house, or you do it from the jam room, which is where I'm at now, the jam room. So it's like, it's not that, other than the fact that I'm not on tour, like it's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not, I'm fine with it. Like, I'm fine. I'm one of those dudes. It's like, I'm happy when I'm on the road and I love being on the road. And when I get home, I'm happy being home and I love being home. A lot of band dudes that I know are like, they get on the road and then they're fucking stoked for the first week or two, and then they're miserable for the last 3 or 4 weeks of the tour. I just want to get home. I just need to get on. I can't be out anymore, man. And then they get home and then like they're home and they're fucking in wedded bliss for 2 weeks, and then they're just like, fuck, I need to get back on the road, man. She's driving me crazy. It's just enjoy the moment, man. Just enjoy like, if you're on the road, enjoy it. If you're not on the road, enjoy it. That's where I'm at.
I know damn sure that Dime would have fucking written some badass material, having been stuck at home and having his recording studio in his backyard. He would have been able to just fucking spend countless hours down there. And knowing him, he probably would have invested a lot of money in a box of rapid tests so that he could call people and say, motherfucker, get over here, man. I got a fucking test for you at the door, man. You got to take it before you get to come in, man. But get your ass over here, man. Got some drinking to do.
Yeah. Do you think that he would still be drinking? You quit drinking, right?
I did 2 years ago, yeah. And
after going hard with Dimebag for years, I mean, we raged. I mean, like, every time I hung out with you and Dime, we were fucking, it was like till fucking 9 a.m. Like, it was crazy. Like, it was insane. We had to like go on, we started to show the next day half the time. You know what I mean?
Misery, man. I never understood how you guys could fucking pull that shit off, man. How you could rage one night and just fucking tear it down, just momentous style, and then fucking get up and do your thing and do your press the next day and get on stage and do your show.
We would be very, I can tell you that.
Dude, when I went with him down.
It was a lot easier when I was just a guitar player, like tearing it down, like, and then you just got to play hungover, but you don't got to sing. Like, like once singing came into the picture, like, fuck.
And the shit you sing, dude, you fucking sing, man. I've seen you warm up before, man. You do a lot of pre-show warm-ups.
I warm up a lot on guitar and vocals, yeah, for sure.
I tell you, man, I wanted to tour with Dime real bad. Fucking then the Damageplan days, I was like, dude, fucking take me out with you, man. Let me be band personal assistant or something, man. Bobby Tongs was out with Slipknot. he was busy, couldn't do it. And I was like, dude, take me out with you, man. I can get my, he's like, what about your radio show? I was like, I got a crew. I can get fucking hold down the fort there, man. He was like, well, come with me to fucking, we'll all go down to South by Southwest. So we go to Austin for South by Southwest, and they had this.
This is like a test. This is like a test to see if you can hang.
God. And they have this fucking they say, yeah, you can stay on the bus. We got a hotel room, man. You can have the back lounge on the bus when we get down there. So we leave on a Friday night. We get down there fucking late Friday night.
The band is playing a show, or you're just going there to hang out?
They were going to do a MTV Headbangers Ball shoot on Saturday afternoon with Jamie Josta. Okay, so gotcha. They went down there the night before because Vinny wanted to see one of the bands that was playing. So we left on Friday night, went down there, and we get down there, and the fucking whoever goes in the hotel and comes back out and was like, you didn't get that hotel for tonight. You got it for tomorrow night, man. So everybody got to stay in the bus tonight. I was like, motherfucker. I thought I was getting in the back lounge all to myself and shit. Boy, gonna live like a king on the bus. Anyway, we fucking, we stay in the bus, man. Just about everybody starts going down except for Dime. And so we hang out and we're fucking drinking, parked outside of the hotel after we go see some bands and shit. And it's the funny thing, walking around the area with Dime, seeing how people react always fucking blew my mind, because we were walking down this fucking street and it was pretty dark, man, but a group of metalheads fucking spotted him and come running across this field. He's like, look out, man, got a herd of buffalo coming from the right over here, man, watch my back. Like, damn, there's like 7 of them motherfuckers, man. But yeah, I got you back, man. I was standing there trying to fucking eyeball everybody and shit, and they just wanted, they just wanted a piece of him, wanted to fucking shake his hand, take a picture, whatever. So, it was cool. He did his thing, and we made our way around town. Well, we're sitting on the bus, and somebody from Drowning Pool or something goes, hey, man, there's some people having a party up on the top floor of this hotel, man. Want to meet you real bad, man. You don't come up there? He's like, what's the deal, man? He said, there's some local TV people. Said, all right, cool. He goes, all right, Thrashing, fucking let's go, man. So me and him go up there with a couple other people. We walk in, and all these TV people are sitting around in this big long table in this fucking big ass penthouse fucking room. And I guess they're all fucking coked out of their gourd. And Dime looks around. He's like, where's the fucking booze at? And they're like, oh man, well, we got a little bit over there on the counter. And he picked up a bottle of Crown, had that much in it, and was like, well, what the fuck? Man, this ain't enough for shit, man. I thought y'all wanted Dimebag up here, man. God damn, y'all not understand? When you invite Dimebag up, you better have something to fucking drink. I don't do that shit y'all are fucking doing over there. So what the fuck, man? So anyway, we're in there.
He never did coke. He never did coke. He hated coke.
Yeah, he could not.
He didn't like people being on it. Like he kind of would get annoyed, like he. I don't know if he had a bad experience. I always wondered about that. If he had like all that drinking all those years, you'd think you'd be fucking tempted to do it, and he just stayed true, like never was into it.
Man, the inside of his body was just wired to be going all the time. He didn't need anything like that to pick him up.
Coke would probably make him like super mellow. I have a couple of buddies like that. They're like super hyper all the time, and then they do cocaine, and they're just like, they become the most quiet, boring person. You're like, what just happened to you? Like, what? Don't do that again. Don't ever do coke again. You suck now.
Oh my God. Well, he damn sure did not do it that night, and he got pissed off that they only had a little bit of fucking Crown. So we went over to the balcony, and he chunked that motherfucker off the balcony and fucking smashed it down below. Well, then we got asked to leave. That was that for them wanting to meet the great Dimebag Darrell. They were like, well, y'all can go now. Get the fuck out, man. Y'all are fucking gonna get us kicked out. Yeah, they were like, oh my God, oh fuck, he's gonna get the cops up here and they're gonna fucking get us kicked out and shit. And he's like, come on, let's go. Fuck these idiots, man. So we fucking went back and we raged on the bus till the sun came up, man. We go try to get some sleep, and man, wake up in like 3 hours later, and him and Vinny they'd already got their room, and they went upstairs and fucking showered and shit. And Pat and Bob had a room together, and they were off doing something. So they gave me their card and was like, here, you go up there and shower, man. So I went and showered, and I'm coming back down, and him and Vinny are sitting there in the fucking hotel restaurant, sitting there eating breakfast and shit. I'm like, damn, how do you fucking function, man? I'm just barely moving. I'm just hurting so bad. And he looked at me and goes, damn, Thrashing, you white as a ghost, man. Getting sleep last night? I was like, dude, I ain't never slept in a tour bus with 12 motherfuckers snoring to beat the band. I didn't get a fucking wink, brother. I flipped and flopped in that damn little bitty ass fucking thing going, fuck, this fucking sucks. And then we drank so much, I kept having to get up and piss. So they put me in the top bunk of 3 fucking tall, stack.
Shit, yeah.
And I'm having to climb down over Vinny and shit and not wake anybody up and go out the fucking sliding door and take a piss and come back. And every time I do, I hear motherfuckers grumbling. Shut the goddamn door, motherfucker, son of a bitch. Crazy as hell. Anyway, just to finish this story, man. We fucking after breakfast, they were like, all right, we got to be at this fucking first radio thing in like 15 minutes, and it's like 4 blocks away. We're walking. We walk fucking 4 blocks to the video or to the radio deal, and Dime goes in, and the rest of the guys sit down to do their autograph thing or whatever, and fucking Dime goes in the bar. Thrashing, come on, here, drink this beer and this shot. I'm like, fuck no, man. I'm about to throw up from last night still, brother. He's like, I'll be damned, motherfucker. You ain't going to get out that easy, motherfucker. I'm drinking it. You're going to fucking drink it. He fucking poured back some beer and fucking did his shot. And I was like, my God. I'm like, I'll start with the shot because it's at least got Coke in it. So I fucking put that down. Oh, God. And he's like, come on, drink. Get you some of that beer. And I'm just looking at that beer going, nope, that'll do it.
What time is it right now? It's like 10 a.m. or 11 a.m.
Yeah, 10, 11 a.m. in the fucking morning, man. Just hours after we went to sleep. And fucking this guy walks in and he's like, Dimebag, Darrell. And he runs over to him. And so while he's fucking talking to him, his friend was over there by the bar. So I was like, hey, dude, Dime bought you this beer, man. I slid that motherfucker over there. Here you go, brother. Dime turned around and goes, you son of a bitch. You gave away that goddamn beer, didn't you?
You guys saw it.
Can't pull nothing over on you, man. Fuck me, man. So we go do the thing, does his thing there, and he pulled it off badass and was Mr. Personality. And I'm just standing there going, oh my God, I'm going to die just standing here watching this shit. And then we leave to go do the video shoot for Headbangers Ball, fucking about another 5-block walk up the fucking street through the people, and everybody yelling at him, running at him. And it was just fucking total madness. And we do the video. He does the video shoot. And lo and behold, he didn't tell me. So after it's over, he's like, so did you get some good behind the scenes video? What? I left the video camera in the bus. He's like, motherfucker, damn it, Thrashing. You were supposed to video the goddamn Headbangers Ball shoot. What the fuck, man? I got my ass fucking reamed over that. Oh my God. And they were drinking the whole time during the shoot, man. They're throwing back shots and fucking tried to send them over to us. And I'm just sitting there going, no, here, dude, here. Hey, sister.
Needless to say, you did not want the Dimebag assistant position after this.
Like, I did not. I said, well, I see what you guys, what you put your people through, man. I think I'll just be seeing you when you come home, my friend. Unless I see you out on the road going travel to see you somewhere, I think I'll just stay home.
It is a different. I love that you. I loved how you described sleeping on the bus. That was great. I mean, I'm so fucking used to that, but like to somebody, I've been doing it since I was fucking 19. So like, but to hear you, someone who isn't used to that. Fuck, it's loud as fucking everybody's snoring and farting and fucking, walking up, just like you're saying, like stepping on your bunk to get out of the third bunk and fucking,
Damn it. And the engine don't stay going all the fucking time. The engine fucking cuts on and off and on and off and on and off. So you go from having this roaring fucking generator that you can sleep through, that's kind of cutting down on the snores. And then the fucking generator goes off and the fucking snores just fucking amplified times 10. You're like, oh, mother.
Why? Oh, yeah. I think most people would last a week on a tour bus, like just a regular person who's never been on tour, never like they would just fucking crumble. Like I've seen so many like green roadie dudes come on tour with us, and they just 5 days in, they're like, I can't fucking take it anymore. You know, they just crack.
Sleeping in a
Yeah, and
moving vehicle, sleeping in a moving bed is not
yeah,
something that most people are wired for. That's for damn
yeah.
sure.
I can, as long as the engine's on, I can do it. And even when we're driving, as long as it's a good driver, I can do it. But I definitely sleep better once we park. You know, so I'll go to bed around 3 or 4, and then we probably park around 8 a.m. So that first 5 hours is kind of like drifting in and out, but then we stop, and then it's like then I'll get a deep sleep.
I'm sure it's priceless when you get it too, ain't it? Get up ready to do cartwheels out the fucking bus door.
It's funny though. You talk about how much drinking there was involved, and I absolutely can attest to that. I mean, when we toured with them, and I think a lot of it, going back to like 84 when you're seeing him, like he's in the clubs, like he was drinking and playing, and like in his formative years was drinking and playing all the time, like doing shots, partying with it, getting everybody to party. He's the doing fucking being Diamond Darrell. And at some point that becomes so natural, that it just becomes a part of like your fucking thing. Like you can play guitar, like, and I saw him do it, and I'll tell you this story because it's one of my favorite Dime stories. And it's a fucking insane night. So this is on the second. So this is the second tour that we're doing now. This is them headlining for the live shows. And, I don't know if it was like, they were kind of, like this record was, I don't know, they decided to scale down and do kind of like smaller places. So it was mostly kind of like theaters and a lot of B markets though, like a lot of Ohio and shit like that. So like random places, fucking Dayton, Ohio and shit like that. Like just fucking all kinds of random places. And but so we're playing, but there's one big show. There's one big show on the tour, and that is Detroit. They're playing Detroit. It's at the Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Chicago Bulls play. Like it's a fucking, I mean,
Wow.
the Pistons, where the Pistons play, and and it's sold out in advance. It's a fucking huge show, arena, and it's the one arena show of the whole tour. And the night before, we're in Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is only like a 2-hour drive away from Detroit, Palace or Auburn Hills. And so we go, we play a small place. It's like a really small theater, like 1,500 cap room, like small room, and it's like us, it's Pantera, Machine Head, and Cold Chamber. It's a great show, awesome, crazy, fucking wild night. And then after the show, all of the bands decide that we're going to spend the night just at the venue in Kalamazoo, and then just drive, 7 a.m. or whatever, 8 a.m. drive to Detroit and go there. There's no reason to park in Detroit because it's fucking Detroit. And it's rough. Detroit, even though the Auburn Hills area is nice, or we don't get the clearance or whatever. Anyway, all decided that. So we're all raging. We're hanging around, and fucking Dimebag, him and Grady are walking around with like Dimebag's got a fucking 2 gallons of Seagrams, and Grady's got 2 liters of Coca-Cola, and they throw a big party. They invite all these fans from out in the parking lot after the show to just come into the fucking, like, where all the buses are parked. There's hundreds of people. I've got fireworks. I'm blowing shit up and fucking blowing cans up, and fucking we're getting hammered. And they're taking these 2 bottles, and they're coming up, just random people, total strangers that are just partying there, that were at the show, but they're Pantera fans, come up, grab them by the head, pull their head back, and then just pour Seagrams and pour Coke into the thing. It's like people are like, holy shit, like just getting people fucked up and just fucking raging. So this goes on. It's a great night. They get me a couple of times, and finally, like, I'm like, okay, I gotta go to bed. Tomorrow's an important show. Like, it's a really big show. I want to fucking kill it. I want to, it's the biggest show of the tour. I want to kill it. I'm gonna go to bed now. And so I go to bed, and I wake up. I drank quite a bit, so like you said, I'm going pee a bunch of times in the middle of the night. So I wake up, and it's about 5:45 in the morning, and my bathroom. So like you come out of bunk alley, and my bathroom was in the front, and then right next to my bathroom was a big window. And so I go, and I kind of like, open my bathroom door and I look out the window and I see Dimebag out there, and he's hanging out with Raina from Coal Chamber and a couple of stragglers, just whoever that was still hanging out there, and he's stripped down to his tidy whitey underwears and his Chuck Taylors, and he's standing on top of a Volkswagen Bug. Like for some reason, a Volkswagen Bug is now parked in the back area with us, and he's standing on top of a basically doing back flops onto the roof of this fucking car, just standing up and just cracking up, just cracking up. Everybody's laughing, and I stare at it. And at first, I'm just like, what? I'm like, is that fucking Dimebag? Holy shit. Like, oh my God, like he's still raging. And then I watch it, and then it just goes on and on and on. And it's like a scene in a Quentin Tarantino movie where like it should end, but it just keeps on going on. And I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, I'm going to go back to bed. So, get up again, like I go to bed, come back, finally, go back up, and I walk out of my door, and I walk up, and Royal, who's the tour manager for Pantera at the time, or he's like the production assistant, whatever he is, stage manager, comes running up to me. He's like, don't you fucking give Dimebag a fucking sip of alcohol, or you motherfuckers are off this goddamn tour. And I'm like, holy shit, I just woke up. I've just literally climbed out of bed. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, dude, was he drinking all night? Because I saw him at 6 a.m. He's like, he hasn't stopped, and he's a fucking mess, and the band is super fucking pissed off at him, and fucking everybody's raging. And I was like, all right, nope, hey, I'm good. Like, whatever. So they don't even give us alcohol in our dressing room. We're just like, dude, like, you got to give us put it on our bus or something. Like, we got to have booze for tonight. And so we're just like, holy shit. And I see him, he's fucking kind of bopping around, and he's fucked up, dude. And I like run into him like, hey, dude. And he's like he can't even fucking talk. And I'm like, oh my God, this is now, this is the biggest show of the tour. Vinny's super pissed. The rest of the band are super fucking pissed. And they're all in separate. It was kind of they were all in separate buses. So Vinny and Vinny, Rex, and singers on another bus, crews on another bus. So they're all kind of had separate dressing rooms. It was already kind of like a weird vibe. And so now they're just super pissed. And so we go into our dressing room. We're hanging out. He comes into our dressing room before Coal Chamber's going on, and fucking Mikey's trying to warm up on his. Mikey has a drum kit. The drummer for Coal Chamber has a drum kit to warm up on, and he just comes over and he starts taking the toms off like while he's playing. He's like starts throwing the fucking toms in the air. And Mikey's like, "Dude, what are you doing? Like, that's my drum kit." And he's like, fuck it. Just leaves. We're like, oh my God. So then Coal Chamber goes on. And I go up. I always would go up to watch Coal Chamber just to kind of catch the temperature of the crowd, like catch the vibe and like see if it's good or not. And so I go up there, and so Coal Chamber's playing, and I'm standing on stage left, and I see Dimebag walk up on stage right across the side, and I'm like, oh boy, what's going on? And so he's just sitting there, and he's like, fucking air guitaring, and he's fucking head banging, and he's fucking just and then he just walks out on stage. Just like fucking just kind of Angus Young's out on stage and like woo, like kind of tapping, and Dez looks over at him, and Dez goes, hey everybody, look, it's Dimebag Darrell. And of course the crowd fucking goes fucking crazy, fucking he just air guitars out there until the rest of the song ends. He comes over, now he walks over on my side of the stage. He's hanging out and kind of looking at me like kind of mumble something, and he was sitting there. They start playing another song, and I can see him, and he's like looking over at my guitar boat. This is like my amp, it's my amp and my guitar boat and all this shit. And he's kind of looking over at my guitar boat, kind of keeps looking back at me, looking back at my guitar boat, looking back at me, and I'm like, what the fuck is this motherfucker doing here? Like, I could see he's up to something. He just kind of like goes over to my guitar boat, and just grabs a guitar, puts it on, and just walks back out on stage again. He walks back out on stage again, and Dez is like, hey everybody, it's Dimebag Darrell again. And he's like fucking air guitar. Now he's not air guitaring. He's actually playing guitar, just guitar soloing like to nothing. Nothing's plugged in. Like it's just wearing a guitar, like just playing guitar. And he's sitting there, and they're fucking going, and of course, crowd goes fucking bananas again, of course, and fucking. And the song ends, and they're like, "Well, everybody, thank you. You know, give it up for Dimebag Darrell." Dimebag Darrell takes off my guitar, and he fucking goes, "Woo!" And he holds it up on the ground, you know, holds it up in the air, like, "Yeah!" And then he takes it, and he goes, boom, neck first, and just smashes the thing on the stage. And I'm like, I'm fucking livid. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? I'm like, fuck. It's like, throws it and fucking just walks off the other side of the stage. I'm like, you know, I got 15-minute changeover. I'm like, you motherfucker. It wasn't my main guitar, it was my backup guitar. But I'm like, you motherfucker. So fucking I go over, just get it out of your head. Go play the show. Like, you're fine. You're not going to break a string. Like, fucking, I get up there. Show goes great. Show's awesome. It's crazy. Fucking sold out Detroit Insanity arena show. And and so now now they close the backstage. They're just like, no one's allowed backstage. No one can bring fucking boot. No hangers on. No band members. No nothing. Like, fucking shut off. So we go out into the front to watch the show. And we're like, wow, this is going to be a fucking train wreck. We're like, this is like, what the fuck are they gonna do? This is crazy. And we go out there and we're watching the show from in the front. And if I didn't witness it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed anybody telling me this. He went out there and played a fucking flawless show. Wow. Didn't miss a riff. Didn't miss a lead. In between songs, fucking busting out Kansas. And I'm like, what? Who fucking can do this? Like, this dude has been up all night. He can't even fucking talk, you know, like, but he's fucking up there playing every lead, every riff, super fucking tight, locked in with his brother, like he's fucking, you know, they're on some fucking psychic wave shit. It was crazy. It was fucking crazy. It was awesome, really.
That is a great fucking story, man. He was running on total autopilot like a motherfucker.
So, I think at that point, like, after all those years, and especially after all those years of playing with VP and just playing drunk and playing those songs, like, it really was just like muscle memory, and it was fucking perfect. Like, it made no sense, but it was amazing. So the next day, we pull up into whatever fucking town we're in, and I'm getting off the bus, and as I'm getting off the bus, Dimebag is now getting off the bus with a giant bottle of like a giant gallon bottle of Pedialyte. Remember, he used to drink Pedialyte whenever he got off. Yeah. He'd have the Pedialyte when he was all hungover because it like got him what's the word, hydrated again.
Yeah, rehydration.
Yeah. So I'm looking at him, and I'm fucking pissed, dude. Like, I'm fucking livid, and I'm just like, this motherfucker. I'm like, hey, bro, how's it going? And he's just like, oh, I was like, bro. I was like, do you remember what you did with my guitar yesterday? You know, he's just like, refresh my memory. I'm like, you know, you kind of smashed it on there. He's like, oh my God. He's like, dude. He's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, oh my God, what did I do? Like, what did it cost? Like, I'll give you the money for it right now. Like, I'm so sorry. And fucking, I'm just like, look, it was a piece of shit guitar. Like, it was my backup guitar. But like, what the fuck, bro? And he's like, dude, I died. He's like, I went hard, man. I went hard after that Kalamazoo show. I'm like, yeah, you did. I know you did. And he's just like, oh, get so, you know, 5 minutes later, I'm in there eating. Tour manager comes up. You know, the guitar was only worth like $350. It was a cheap ass guitar. He like gives me $500. He's like, here, you know, I'm so sorry. Like, Dime really feels really bad, and all this. And then a couple days later, we're in Chicago. And he comes up on stage, and I'm playing, and it was getting near the end of the set. And it's a great show. It's fucking Chicago Aragon Ballroom. It's wild, insane. You know, one of our best cities. A crazy show. And Dime comes up, and I hear him. He comes up in my ear, and I hear Carjacker. He called me Carjacker. Long story. I'll tell that story someday, maybe on the next tribute. But because I hear Carjacker. And I'm like, what? And I look over, and it's Dimebag, and he's like, hey, let me get on the mic. And I'm saying goodbye to the audience. We're about to play our last song, you know. I'm like about to say this. And he's like, let me get on the mic. And I'm like,
damn it.
All right. He's like, hey, everybody, just want you to know, I blew up this motherfucker's guitar the other day. And I got a little bit of drunk the other night, and I blew up the guitar. And so I want to apologize to him. And he had just signed his deal with Washburn. remember when he first dropped his signature series, he first came out on Washburn. So he had a Washburn. He gives me the blue dime bolt, and he gives Logan, my guitar player, the green dime slime or whatever. He's like, hey, I just want to fucking give these guys hooked it up. And, you know, I was just like, wow, like, thank you so much. Like, he already paid me for the guitar. Like, he didn't need to give me anything else anymore. Like, he, you know, just was being fucking cool. And and I was like, wow. So it was a really amazing gesture. You know, like, it was an amazing gesture to like come up on stage after that and give me, you know, one of his brand new, wasn't even released at this point. The thing hadn't even come out. So it was like a prototype.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was just like, wow, that was fucking really cool of you, man.
Dude, that is a beautiful fucking story, Rob. And that speaks to what a giving person that he was, man, because he loved to give people stuff, man. He loved to see the people's reaction when he would give them a badass gift, or he would love to see the reaction when he gave them a crazy ass gift he got from some fucking porn store in New York City.
Right.
Dude, just a quick, for the last years of his life, I always spent Christmas with him. Always did Christmas Eve at the Fortress. And, the one year that Damageplan did their press tour, I guess it was 03, before they went out on tour, they did this press tour. And when they stopped in NYC, they go to some fucking porn shop, and he fucking spends so much money, man. He loaded up shit. So fucking Christmas Eve rolls around, man, and some of the things that got unwrapped that night was shit that I can't even begin to explain. I mean, some of the girls, some of the close women in the group got these fucking, man, it looked like a pogo stick with a fucking gigantic dildo connected to it. It was the damnedest fucking thing I ever seen, man. He's got like 4 or 5 of them and shit. He's giving these people. I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's where the fuck did you come up with this shit? So if he didn't have enough presents for you,
dilgo.
Man, if he didn't have enough presents for you, and he didn't, you know, if he saw you come in and he realized, fuck, I only got like 4 or 5 for him, man, that motherfucker would get creative, man. There was this one fucking Christmas, man, I opened up this fucking paper, and there's this fucking giant can of Stag chili. And I'm like, and he's looking at me from across the room, and I'm like, is this I don't know if this is a joke gift or if I'm supposed to say thanks, or I don't know what to do here. And it had a just piece of duct tape fucking stuck to the wrapper. It's Thrashing from Dime. It's like, all right, man. Well, thank you, brother. Fucking appreciate it, man.
Yeah, he didn't want you to feel left out.
Exactly.
So
fucking Stag chili, man. He was so fucking generous, and he wanted us to make people smile, want to make people laugh. And I think if he, you know, I told him many times, you know, I said, if you ever fucking broke your damn hand off or something fucking tragic happened to your hand where you wasn't able to play anymore, I said, you have a great future as a fucking comedian, man. Because one of our best friends owns the biggest comedy clubs here in Dallas, a place called Hyenas. It's like he had a stage there that he could have got on, you know, easily if he did ever chose to. But, you know,
yeah, he was generous like that. It's funny you talk about that, because I remember we went to and you were there. I remember we went to the clubhouse one time. It was like early 2000s, and what was the last record was Reinventing the Steel, right?
Right.
Yeah. So Reinventing was, they had just finished it, and he had come. They always came. Him and Vinny always came to the Machine Head shows whenever we rolled into town. They'd come to the show, they'd hang out, and then they'd invite everybody back to the clubhouse. And so same thing happened. We rolled through town, and they invited us down, and we went back. And you know, I'm not a big whiskey guy. Like, I don't really like Crown. Like, I like vodka. Like, vodka's my shit. Like, I don't know what it is about brown alcohol, but it always makes me throw up, and I just never want to drink it. And not to say that I didn't drink my fair share of goddamn brown alcohol shots with Dimebag over the years, but especially on the road. Like I was just like, I just want to drink, like I just want to drink vodka. Like, you know, like what do you care what do you care what I drink? You can drink whiskey and I can drink vodka. Like, who cares? And he's like, no, man, like, no. He's like, we gotta drink the same thing. I'm like, no, we don't have to drink the same thing. You can fucking drink fucking Crown and I can drink Grey Goose and we're good. We'll be hammered and we'll be good. He's like, no. It's like, I'll drink what you're drinking, God damn it. I'm like, all right. So all night he drank vodka with me just because I was just like, I just like vodka. Like what? He's just like, okay, I'll drink vodka with you, man. I'm not having any black twos. We'll just drink vodka and Coke. All right, I'm all right. So we're drinking, and he's just like, you want to hear some of the new Pantera? I was like, fuck yeah, let's hear this shit. And so we go into his car. I want to say he had like a Cadillac Escalade or something.
Oh yeah.
Right, he had like a big old fucking sick, like a bumping ass stereo system in it too, like a sick stereo system. And we jumped in there, and he pretty much played me the whole record, you know, and it was just crazy, like sitting in his car, and just listening to unreleased Pantera songs and just getting drunk. And then we'd go back in and do some more shots and talk to everybody, and then we'd go back out and listen to a few more songs. And you know, it was a cool vibe. But to me, the song that's the song that stuck out to me the most at that time was Goddamn Electric. And I was like, I don't know, just like your faith is in whiskey and weed and Black Sabbath. It's Goddamn Electric. I was like, that's fucking like, you know, killer riff, like just good groove. And so we kind of bonded. That became like the joke for the rest. And like everything was Goddamn Electric. Like, you know, like I had to go to the bathroom. I got to go to the bathroom, bro. It's Goddamn Electric. You know, like it became the running joke of the night. And so we left and had to play a fucking show the next day, and we're fucking all devastated because we stayed at the clubhouse till fucking 7 a.m. or whatever. And
misery.
Yeah, it's just like, woo, all right, let's do this. And about I don't know, probably 5 or 6 days later, I'm in Philadelphia, and I go out and I'm looking around for food or whatever, and I come back to my hotel room, and I open up my hotel room door, and there's a box in there. And I was just like, huh, what's this? And I'm like, sometimes my wife sends me stuff on the road. Like I'll forget something back home. I'll be like, hey, send me, like, I forgot this shit. So I didn't recall that. And I was like, I don't recall asking Ginevra to send me anything. So I open it up, and Dimebag had sent me 4 bottles of Kettle One vodka to be delivered to my room, and had a little card note written on it. And it just said, hey, brother, it was awesome hanging with you the other night. Enjoy this vodka. Remember, it's Goddamn Electric. Your brother Dime. And I was like, that was really cool. Like, that was so nice. Like, that was really nice of him to do. Like, I'd never had that done before or since, where someone just like sent me $100 worth of, you know, $150 worth of vodka, you know, and I don't even know where he sent it. I mean, he might have sent it from Texas, or maybe just had someplace local deliver it, but it was very cool. Those are the things that I remember from Dime, you know.
There's so many things to remember about him, man, and his short period, you know, on record and on the road. You know, I guess the world was very fortunate to get the handful of Pantera records that they have, that they'll be able to cherish the rest of their lives and pass on and pass on and pass on. And it's crazy that his time on this earth as a star was so fucking short, but he made such an enormous impact during that time. It was just he was a special person, and there's no denying that, no getting around it. And for the good or the better, some of the crazy shit that he did while he was plowed out of his gourd, man, I know he fucking hated that shit, you know. And then the following days after he figured out what he did, and he blacked out a lot, you know. That's good old brown fucking liquor for you, you know. Always fucking blacks you out. So he would always tell me, damn, Thrashing, you know, I have a camera always with me, you know, or somebody with me running a fucking cam. He goes, because everywhere I go, I got holes in the night. I just got holes in the night. All I can see is just glimmers of what happened during this night. So if I don't have a fucking videotape to throw in the player that next day and see what exactly I did, I just have to go on the word of somebody who saw me doing it and tells me, "Oh, you know what you did last night, motherfucker? You did this and this and this." And he's like, "Fuck that, man. I want to see the fucking, I need to see the tape. I need to see the damn tape. Make sure I did that shit, man. I ain't really believing you. You're fucking full of shit." Shit, we're on his house one night drinking, just me and Blackie and him and Rita went to bed, and we're sitting there and fucking he's messing with his stereo. We're jamming on the Damageplan shit, which we did for fucking months and months and months before it came out, man. We would just listen. He would sit there on the couch and just play fucking air guitar along with the solos and shit. And then he'd look around the room to see who, to see everybody's reaction. But so he's messing with the fucking stereo, and he leans too hard on it, and the glass door covering the stereo stack fucking shatters in a million pieces, man. Just like car glass, like window glass is shattered fucking everywhere. Man, me and my boy Blackie were fucking with brooms and shit, man. They had this carpet in the middle of the living room with like fringe edges on it, and the fucking fringe edges were just fucking, there was glass just everywhere, man. Me and my boy spent like 2 hours cleaning up this fucking mess.
Shit.
And at the end of it all, we called it a night, and fucking he was down. You had to wait till he was down. You had to wait till he was completely asleep before you could get to the door, because no matter what you told him you had to do that next day, he was not going to let you fucking leave until he was out. So he fucking we see him out, man. We're like, all right, he's out, man. Let's fucking bolt. So me and my boy take off and shit. Get up a few hours later that next day and shit. Get a phone call. And it's Rita going, "Hey, you got any idea what happened to my stereo door?" I said, "Your boy fucking busted it." She said, "Who?" I said, "Dime did it." She said, "Hey, Alan just said you did that." Bullshit. I'm like, "No, motherfucker, you didn't tell him. He fucking did that for damn sure. He was leaning on the fucking door, and it blew fucking all over the entire living room like a bomb went off." And she's like, "Well, we started fucking stepping on pieces of glass here and there on the other side of the room and shit." I'm like, "Dude, we cleaned that shit up for 2 hours, man, but we were wasted fucking too while we were cleaning. So we probably left a few pieces," but he could not believe it. He was just in complete fucking denial that he had broke his own stereo door. He wanted to blame it on me and Blackie. It's like, "Nope, bro, you did it, motherfucker." You did it. If I had only been videoing your ass when you did it, you'd have had proof, but wasn't no cameras rolling.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you were definitely there for a lot of the Damageplan stuff. A lot.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, that's probably when that's probably that time when he slowed. Pantera came to an end. And then he had to rebuild and was home for a while.
And when he wrote that song, Save Me from myself. And it was because of he was going berserk sitting there, just trying to get through each day and not go completely fucking insane from boredom. So a good buddy of ours had a suite at a local venue, big theater, and there was always some show in town. So we would always fucking be meeting up with Diamond, going to a show, and fucking, it was just things like that, and going to the local neighborhood bars and shit like that were the most special times for me, because you didn't have all the fucking crazed fans fucking coming at him from every direction, wanting a piece of him and shit. So he was able to just let his guard down and just sit there and have a normal conversation, which a normal conversation with Dime was always funny and fucking full of tales and whatnot. But it was cool to just be able to chill with them, as much as we could, and just fucking hang out. And it was cool watching him try to get everybody's opinion about the music, like I was saying earlier, especially when bands would come through town. He'd be like, "Hey man, you got a minute? Let's run out to the limo and fucking hop in, man. Got to play you my new band. So come on." So there was countless badass people, man. He would take out the fucking back door of the venue and would jump in the fucking limo and fucking he'd crank up Damageplan 3 or 4 songs, or as long as they'd be willing to sit there and listen, and fucking, he'd just be fucking just watching them and watching everybody's expression about it, and he was so worried that, people were going to not accept it like Pantera. And you know, so he did everything he could to make it a badass band. And in my opinion, he did. He made it him and his brother made it a badass fucking band. And had he not been taken the way he was, there's no telling how long that they would have carried on as a band. You know, I don't know that maybe all the same members would have been in the band, but I think they would have carried it out a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems like people, I mean, I remember when it dropped, people seemed like they liked it. I don't know if they liked it like Pantera, you know, like it was different. It was a different time, you know. It was like the split was hard on everybody, you know, like all the Pantera fans. It was pretty hard on everybody, you know, like it was a pretty ugly split and a lot of shit talking back and forth. And
yep.
You know,
now we went through a lot of times where he would not let us play. Well, he didn't say he wouldn't let us play. It would be usually Rita would tell us, hey, don't put no fucking Pantera on the jukebox. You know, because the jukebox is in there in the house, played fucking round the clock, man. And night and day and night, that motherfucker was blasting off, just rattling the house. And had the whole Pantera catalog in there, and we'd be drunk in the middle of the night, go, hey, let's play fucking whatever, you know. And Rita hear that come on, go, cut that fucking shit off, man. He don't want to fucking hear that shit right now, man. Don't fucking play Pantera, man. He don't want to hear that. So it was a difficult time, you know, for me too, being on the radio, because I lived fucking playing Pantera shit, you know, all the damn time. So it was a total trip for me to kind of go on the air and feel kind of bad, you know, because we were such close friends, and I never knew if he was listening to my show that week or not. And I didn't want to play Pantera and piss him off. So there was a good stretch there that it got ignored, you know. It just got compartmentalized and put to the side there, and it was all about Damageplan and all about all the things that were going to be great, you know, for the future of that band. They were so worried about being pigeonholed into one sound that they had with Pantera. They didn't want to replicate that sound. But on, you know, the other side of that was the people, like you say, that didn't really accept the Damageplan record because they were hoping it was going to be Pantera Part 2, you know.
Right.
But it was totally different. They wanted something different, and they got it.
Yeah. What do you remember where you were when you heard the news?
Oh yeah, I was right here in this very room I'm sitting in right now. Oh, no, actually I was on my way home from band practice, and my boy Blackie called me and was at that venue I was telling you about where our friend had that suite, and Marilyn Manson was playing, and he got a call from Bride Dog. And Bride Dog was in the Cadillac Rock Box with Rita and a couple other people, and they were getting ready to head to the Marilyn Manson show. And Blackie called me and told me, hey, dude, Bride Dog just called me and fucking said Dime got shot. I'm like, what? What? That's got to be a mistake, you know? Fuck that, man. I fucking hauled ass, got home, and fucking I kept calling Bride Dog, and he was like, man, we're waiting on an official word. And fucking we waited for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes goes by, and fucking Bride Dog called, and fucking he was bawling and said, it's true, he's fucking gone, man. And I was in my stairwell walking upstairs at the time, and fucking there's this giant Pantera poster my friend had given me up on the wall, takes up half of my fucking stairwell. And I was just fucking walking upstairs, and I just looked at it as he was telling me he's gone. I just fell to my knees and fell down the stairs and started fucking bawling, man, and just bawled for a couple hours. And then me and the wife collected ourselves and got in the car and fucking hauled ass across town to his house, and had to be there for Rita, you know, as much as we could. And when we got there, I remember distinctly walking into the Fortress, and the CNN crew was fucking showing the Al Roosevelt on fucking TV, and fucking they're showing stock footage and stock pictures and whatnot. And they showed the picture of me and my boy Blackie in the studio with all 4 of the Damageplan guys when I had done a big long radio interview that Sterling recorded for me. We took a picture after it was over, and they showed that, and Rita was like, "Oh, look, there's Blackie and Thrashing," and she was. I just remember, her just fucking being out of it, and all of us being out of it. And I remember it being the weirdest, most horrible few days, horrible couple of days waiting on the band to get back home. Man, I was in the room at the Fortress when the bus got home with all the band members, and to see Vinny walk in that door with the look on his face, and something I'll never fucking forget. And everybody that was there that was on the tour walked in, and they went to their spouse or their best friend or whatever, and we all just fucking embraced and fucking bawled our damn eyes out. And it was just fucking, it was so surreal, it was totally surreal. There was news crews outside the fucking place, all the 24/7. They were fucking sitting across the street just trying to get somebody to say something. We're like, nope, we ain't saying shit to y'all, man, fuck off. So it was a fucking crazy, fucking horrible deal, man. Fuck.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine what Rita was going through. I can't imagine what you guys were going through.
She was so fucking strong, man. I don't know how she fucking went through that shit, man, and continued on like she has, but she's done a great job to keep his memory alive. Got to applaud her for that. Working hard to always keep people thinking about the old Dimebag. That's a great thing that 16 years later, that here we are having this conversation, and that however many other people you'll talk to is going to have great stories. And, two nights from now, I get to go on the air and fucking do my 4-hour radio tribute to him, which I do on his birthday and death day every year. And to change my show from Hard Time Radio to Dime Time Radio, play 4 hours of Dime, play him covering people's shit, play people covering his shit. It's always a double-edged sword, a bittersweet deal. You want to celebrate his life and times and do like we're doing, and be able to tell stories and make people laugh, in the times that they're thinking the dark thoughts, and going through what happened. And I try to never focus on what happened, and I never talk about that on the air. And although one single time I did have the guy on the air that fucking took out the guy that took him out.
Oh, James Niggemeyer?
Yeah, James Niggemeyer came up to my show, and that was very fucking surreal. One of my dime guitar, I've got a dime guitar you can't see over here on the wall, but on the back of it, it's got James Niggemeyer's signature and silver paint pen on there. Right. I was like, dude, you're my hero. It sucks you couldn't have got to the club a few minutes sooner, but hey, you took the motherfucker out before he took out more of our fucking friends and people. So it fucked up that dude's life. His whole life has been fucking shattered because of what he went through on that night. So it affected a lot of people.
I haven't really heard that,
Yeah, he went through a lot of post-traumatic stress disorder because of it and shit. And I talked to somebody at a wedding a couple of years ago. It was Dime's best friend, longtime videographer, Bobby Tongs, got married. And he had a guy there that was James Niggemeyer's boss in Ohio, had flew down here to Texas for the wedding. And so we got to spend a good quality time that night during the reception talking about him. And he was like, yeah, man, he's doing better now. He goes, but it fucked his career, he just didn't want to be a cop anymore, I think, after he went through that shit. So, yeah, it had to have been pretty fucking crazy for somebody to walk in to face what that man had to face that night.
Yeah.
But for all the people that had to face it that night, my heart will always be with them.
Yeah. So like one guy who jumped up on stage to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to Dime, it's crazy.
Yeah.
To lose family, how they were affected by it,
Yeah,
You know,
we
at the Al Rosa Villa, it's crazy. I played the Al Rosa Villa like fucking 20 times. You know, it's a
really.
little 800. It's a little 800 cap club. It's when I heard it was there, I was like, what? Like, you know, it's just like a small club. It's just, it's like the Galaxy. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
playing the Galaxy or playing trees or something.
right,
You know what I
right.
mean? It's just like the small rock club that, you know, a lot of people play, and it's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was absolutely fucking earth shattering. That's for damn sure, man. I'm really thankful that there wasn't copycatters. You know, after it happened, I was really scared that there would be copycatters that would want to go up on stage in their fucking city and kill their favorite fucking rock star. You know,
Yeah, nobody. There was no stage diving after that.
no,
No.
huh? Yeah,
We
stay
used to always have
away.
motherfuckers stage diving. We were like, no one stage diving ever again,
Get the
ever.
fuck back.
Fuck
Stay
you.
back. Yeah, I like that barricade Machine Head always has up, man. They got a fucking
Love
firm
that barricade.
barricade, so motherfuckers can't not get up there.
You ain't got a chance. Forget it. I mean, it was. I mean, it was. Everybody was on edge for a couple of years after that. Like somebody would, you know, because occasionally they would get up every once in a while, you know, just randomly jump off the fucking balcony or land on the stage. Like it was like, holy shit! Like, what are you here for? You
No
know, like,
doubt.
and most of the, and all the time they would just run up to like fucking hug. You know, they just want to hug you or you know, fucking oh my god or whatever. But you know, after that, it just changed it. You know, I got a funny story. We'll end it with this. I got a funny story though about Dime that I thought you might appreciate. And so we had played. Let's see, what is it? We're on tour for Through the Ashes of Empires. This is 2004, and uh, Damageplan is on tour doing the festival circuit same time as us, and we're doing festivals, and we end up playing in. We end up playing the Download Festival together, and we had already run in. I had run into Dime a few times in the last few years because we were actually there at the last Pantera show. We played the last
Nice.
Pantera show in Japan, the Beast Feast.
Badass.
Yeah, which is crazy when I think about it. Like I kind of forget about it because it just I don't always realize that was the last show and it was the last show. And I wish I could tell you that it was awesome, but it wasn't awesome. And
Train
Dime was
wreck, huh?
very, very unhappy, very unhappy. Um, but anyway, we'd cross paths a couple times, and then we're doing the festival thing, and so Slayer was above us on Download, but we Slayer's bus broke down or something happened. Their truck got jammed up at the border, and so they weren't going to be able to make the show, and so we moved up into the Slayer slot. Slayer moved over into, and then Damage Plan moved up into our slot, and then Slayer moved over into the Damageplan slot, which was at like 8 o'clock at night on a side stage, right? So,
Wow.
and so we're sitting there, and the thing that's funny about this story is that you know they crossed the ferry. I guess everybody had like raged, and they all got on the ferry to come from Calais to the UK, which is from France. So the ferry you got to take to get to the UK, and Dime, I guess everybody said Dime, you know, oh, I'm not going on till 8 o'clock. I can fucking go on the ferry and rage, you know. So he goes onto the ferry, and apparently, like I was talking to Jamie Jossa because he was like, dude, Dimebag, fucking holy shit, like he went crazy, like on the little, you know, it's a little hour and a half ride, but he fucking apparently got shit faced, and so he comes on, you know, and then kept on raging, thinking, "Oh, I'm not playing till 8 o'clock at night. I can stay up really late." So then, you know, the switch happens, and now they're not playing at 8 o'clock. Now they're playing at like 1 o'clock, like in the afternoon or 1:30 in the afternoon or something. And so their airport shuttle van pulls up to the backstage, and you know the tour manager's now like, hey, like we gotta wake Dimebag up now. And so fucking Vinny comes out, and they pull up right in front of our dressing room, like they just have like whatever happenstance, we're all like right behind the main stage, and fucking Dimebag comes out, and he's just shot. I mean, just haggard, like so just shattered, dude, like just completely just oh my god, he's pale. He's like fucking hair, you know, like shirt's all buttoned up, but you know, I'm just like, he's like fuck, like I'm like gotta go on in like 20 minutes. He's like oh my god, he's like comes over, he sees me, and he's like He's like, walks up. He's like, brother, can I borrow your guitar to warm up for a second? Just, reeks of alcohol, just looking ill. He's just like, oh, he's like, I tied one on really hard. I thought I could sleep a lot longer. so, and so I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, here, play. I'm warming up. I warm up. I'm warming up. I'm like, yeah, fucking play my guitar, dude. Like, warm up. I can put some of that Dime magic on my guitar.
All right.
I'll be having a better show because of this, so he sits there and he like jams and we're talking and we're just like, he's just kicking in the dressing room and he's like, man, your new record. He's like, album of the year. And I'm like, yeah. He's just like, album of the year. He's like, he really loved the song Elegy, which is like one of the slower songs on there. And he's like, I just kept on saying album of the year. He's like, album of the year. He's like, fuck, man. He's like, I don't know where you pulled that out from, but fuck. It's like fucking awesome. I was like, wow. And for me, it was I think it was probably the first time he had really ever complimented Machine Head. Like he had, and I don't mean that like in a bad way. I don't know if he got what we did before or like, he liked us. He liked hanging out. He knew it was heavy, but I don't think he ever like put it on and went, fuck yeah. Like whereas that record, it seemed like he did and was like, fuck yeah. And so they go up and they play a killer show. And they go do their show, and he fucking turns it on, comes up on stage. Of course, he's fucking Dimebag once he gets up there, and there's a million people, and so they have a good show, and then we play, and it's cool, and then I kind of ran into him like just kind of intermittently. I had to leave. I was about to have my first kid. My wife's due date was like a week and a half away, and I was already stressing on getting home, and like I don't want to fucking miss this, and so I immediately, we left pretty early. We didn't even stick around for the show. And this was the crazy show where like Lars missed the show and then Joey Jordison and Lombardo played with Metallica and like all that. Wow. If you remember all that crazy show, but we just had to leave. We had to make it. We had plane flights and I was like, I'm not missing this. I got to get home. So I got home and as I was going home, I was like, I was just kind of tripping on the fact that he had given me a compliment about Machine Head. And I was like, have I ever given Dime a compliment about Pantera? Like I think at one point when we were sitting in his Cadillac or his Escalade, listening to the those early, the early mixes of that last record, he said, He's like, I hear a little bit of Pantera and Machine Head. Like, he kind of just threw that out there. And I was like, oh, dude. I was like, for sure. Like, I was like, I was like, for sure. Like, absolutely. I was like, he's like, and then he's like, we're all just sharing riffs, man. We're all just sharing riffs. I'm like, fuck yeah. But, like, there was a part of me that never wanted, like, especially when I was younger, that I never wanted to, like, I don't know why. Like, I just couldn't give somebody a compliment. Like, and it was a subconscious thing. Like I just wouldn't do it. No reason. I just wouldn't do it. And I was like, that was really cool that Dime said that to me. And it was, and I don't know if I've ever done that the same. And I just like I was just thinking that whole thing on the whole flight home. I was like, I don't know if I've ever told him in particular, the influence he had on me as a guitar player. Like the guitar tone, his fucking, cool killer leads. I always thought it had a really cool lead style. And, just the fact that we compare, we had Vulgar on because we wanted to get as close as possible to that guitar tone when we recorded Burn My Eyes, our first album. And I'd never said that to him. I had never said any of that to him. And so I wrote him this letter.
Nice.
The day that I got back. And they were playing a show at the Astoria in London. It was their headline show. Damageplan was doing their debut headline show in London, and I knew that I already knew that they were doing that. We had talked about it a little bit, and he was stoked about it. Like he was excited. Like, oh, we're gonna be headline. It's gonna be sold out. I was like, cool, and so I faxed it to I can't. Was their tour manager? Did they still have Guy Sykes at that point?
No, guy wasn't with Damageplan. I can't remember who the fuck was. Yeah. Oh, it was this dude, Chris Palooza. Okay. Chris Palooza. Well, he's one of the guys that got shot.
I believe I got it to him, and anyway, I faxed it to him, and this is I faxed it to him. Like, just to put a timestamp on this, I faxed it to him because I didn't have his email. I had his phone number, but I didn't have his email. And I was gonna read it here just because I thought it was like, it's just I was glad I wrote this to him, like when it was all kind of said and done. And I said Darrell. I always called him Darrell. I never called him Dimebag. I don't know why. I always called him Darrell. And I thought about that as I picked this up today. I was like, Darrell? I was like, why? Like I didn't call him. I guess because I knew him as Diamond originally, and then Dimebag was kind of like halfway through. And then so I was just like, you're just Darrell. How about just Darrell? And I said, Darrell, hey, fucker, it's Robb from Machine Head. Just wanted to drop a line and say how cool it was to see you guys the other day. You guys did a killer job at Donington. Don't know if you remember, but after letting you warm up on my guitar for a while, you said something like, I owe you a big ass bottle of vodka or something, which is very cool of you to say. But hey, bro, I just wanted to let you know you don't owe me a thing. Watching you warm up on my guitar was all my pleasure. And frankly, it was a fucking honor. I think some of that dime magic wore off and made me play better that day. I don't think I've ever told you this, but I've wanted to tell you this for a really long time. For some reason, every time I get around you, I just clam up about it. Well, now I'm saying it. You and Pantera have been a huge influence on our band. I mean, a huge, all caps, influence. When we were recording our first album, the only records that we A-B'd to for guitar tone were Vulgar Display and Far Beyond Ribbon. I can't even tell you how many hours we wasted trying to make my all-tube 5150 sound like your solid-state Randall. Funny. I'm pretty sure I'm stating the obvious to you. I realized the fact wasn't lost on you guys that we were trying to sound like Pantera. For a while, we got tagged as Pantera wannabes, which we took offense to at first. But as time went by, we accepted. And after all these years, you know what, dude? I can proudly say now that we were Pantera wannabes. And I'm not ashamed to admit it one bit. Pantera is still one of my favorite bands. And Vulgar. Fuck. The lyrics about unity, the songwriting, the production, everything, man. Vulgar is one of the greatest albums of all time in my book. Up there with Master of Puppets, Raining Blood, Back in Black, and Paranoid. We had the honor of touring with you fuckers twice, and of all the big bands we toured with, you guys and your crew treated us the best. You made us feel welcome, and you treated us with never-ending respect. That is something we have never forgotten. We took a similar attitude, and we've tried to make bands that open for us feel the same way, like equals. I don't know why it's taken me so long to say this to you. I guess I'm a little insecure. But hey, man, you and your brother's music have inspired me and us in so many ways, from songwriting to you making me want to better myself as a guitar player. I just wanted to thank the two of you for that. I sincerely wish you guys the best of luck with the plan, and I hope our paths cross again sooner rather than later. Take care. Robb left him my number, left him my email.
Dude, that's fucking awesome, Robb. Wow. That about makes me fucking well up now. Come on. That is awesome, man. Damn.
So this is in June, right? This is in June 2004. I have my kid a couple weeks after, 2 weeks after.
Wow.
And then silence. Like, I don't know if the fax even goes through. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if he even gets this letter for months. And then at the end of August, we have a big band meeting, and it's a crazy band meeting. We have with a lot of fighting. We got having all this problems with the label, and it was like, I had just had my first kid. I hadn't slept in 2 months. I'm fucking exhausted. I'm wiped out. I'm at my wit's end, dude. I'm like, seriously, I'm cracking at the seams. And I just have a fucking meltdown. I fucking, I'm crying at the meeting, and I'm fucking mad, and I'm fucking throwing shit, and I'm fucking just like, I'm like, it was all just a lot of stress at the time, and I just can't, like I just snapped. And finally the meeting ends kind of chaotically, but then we kind of, we smooth it out, and we like, everybody hugs, and then we leave, and like, fuck, and just like driving home. Now it's late. It's like 12:30 at night, midnight, or 12 o'clock at night. And I'm still like rattled, and I'm upset, and driving home. I've got a 45-minute drive home now, and from my manager's house, and my phone rings, and it's Dimebag, carjacker. And I'm like, what? Dimebag? And he's just like, dude, check it out. And he passes the phone over to this other person that he's with. And he's just like, this person's like, hello? And I'm like, hello? And he's just like, is this Robb Flynn? And I'm like, it is. And he's just like, oh my God, holy shit. It's like, it ends up being some fan, just some kid that he ran into at this Mexican restaurant that he was drinking at, or whatever. And he's wearing a Machine Head shirt. He's a huge Machine Head fan, and fucking, he's like going on and on about the new Machine Head record, Through the Ashes of Empires, and they're both like, oh, Time's like, album of the year. He's like, let's call Robb Flynn right now. And so fucking, he just calls me and says, he's like, here, I'm gonna put you on the phone with them. And so me and the kid are like talking. We talk for like 10 minutes, and we talk for we're just talking. He's like, how you doing? And I was like, oh, I just whatever, talking about the album, talking about hanging out. I'm like, what do you do when you're hanging out with Dimebag right now? Like, dude, he's like, dude, I went to a Mexican restaurant to go eat, and Dimebag was there, so of course I like just went up to him and started hanging out at the party, and he's fucking raging. And I was like, I'm sure. And so fucking, you sit there, we talk for a while, and then I was like, right on. He's like, okay, well, here's Dimebag. And I was like, nice meeting you. And then Dimebag comes on. I was like, carjacker. I was like, you fucker. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, that was crazy. He's just like, this kid fucking loves your band, man. Holy shit. Like, fucking, we were talking about Through the Ashes, album of the year. I was like, oh, fuck. And then he was like, we're talking, and he's like, gets all serious for a second, which almost never happens, right? Like, Dimebag gets serious for a second. He's just like, I got that letter, man. I was like, got that letter. I was like, I got the facts. And I was just like, you did. I was like, you got the facts right on. I wasn't sure if it just went into the to the black abyss or not. And he's like, no, I got it. He's like, dude, he was like, that was really fucking cool. That was really, really cool of you to say all that stuff. And he's like, it really meant a lot to me that you wrote that. And he's like, like, your album influenced me. Like, so it was cool. And then we talked for a little while, just kind of made, I was like, he's like, what are you doing? And I'm just like, I'm leaving a band meeting. He's like, a band meeting? He's like, what's that? What's that? I thought it was hilarious. I was like, a band meeting where you go and you meet with your band and you talk about like what you're going to do next or whatever. He's like, oh shit, I don't know if we do those. Band meeting. I was like, I thought that was the funniest answer. And so then we talked, we just kind of laughed, and then, we're hanging up, winding down, and I was like, we're right on, bro. And I was like, I'll see you. I think they were kind of supposed to be coming to the Bay Area at some point, and I was like, well, I hope to see you when you're in town, and like, all right, man. And he's just like, it's like, I love you, brother. And I was like, he had never said I love you to me, and I was like, I love you too.
Yep. He started saying that, and on the last few years of his life, man, we fucking, everybody, I don't know who started it, if my boy Blackie started it or if he got it from Zakk, man, but we started telling each other, big love on you, man. Every time we leave each other, man, it'd be a big fucking handshake, hug, big love, man. Big love on you. See you next time, brother. And when that started, fucking, it just, he would tell her, I love you, motherfucker. What's up, man? Fucking give you a big hug and fucking send you on your way. He was able to, I don't know, fucking, I think in them last few years of his life, he was able to let his guard down a little bit more. He was able to embrace the inner metal neck that was always him. He was always a fucking redneck from here in Texas, but he was a fucking metalhead. So the merger of fucking redneck and metalhead, you know, he was a metal neck full blown. And I think, you know, he tried to kind of stay away from that during the Pantera years, but as he got older, he embraced it more, you know, he embraced it more and more and more and more. We'd be listening to a mix of not just rock and metal in the wee hours of the morning on the jukebox, but it would be old school fucking country that he would bust out with too, that he loved. You know, he really loved old school David Allan Coe and George Jones and fucking shit like that, you know. So we never knew it would be fucking jamming Slayer one minute and the next minute it's fucking George Jones. And we're like, wow, okay. And he'd be singing along, you know, he loved that shit. So he was able to really embrace who he really was there in them last years and didn't care, you know. It was like, fuck you motherfuckers if you don't like it, you know, this is me. I'm this way, and fucking step up, belly up and have fun with me or get the fuck out and get out of my way. So yeah, we spent those last few years, man, were the most fucking memorable, some of the most memorable occasions of my 53 years on this planet. So I'm very, very thankful to have had the friendship that I had with him. I wish it would have been longer. I wish that I would have been a friend back in them early club days, you know, like a lot of his people were. But a lot of them same people, you know, I hate to say it, but a lot of them same people jumped ship when the Pantera gravy train fucking quit rolling. A lot of those people quit coming around, and you know, I wasn't one of them. I started coming around more. So, you know, it was, we enjoyed each other's company and we enjoyed trying to mimic each other's voice. He's always giving me hell.
You guys do kind of have a similar voice, you know, like you guys do. You always have. You know, it's definitely like there's a Dallas thing for sure.
Yeah.
I always try and get it. I can't quite get it.
That's fucking great.
The accent is definitely different from the rest of Texas, though. Like Dallas has got its own accent.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck it is, man. It must have came from our parents because I listen to all the kids these days and nobody really has this accent anymore unless they live way out in the fucking country, man. All the city kids fucking just talk like city kids. And so, yeah, they kind of look at me like, man, you talk too slow, motherfucker. When I'm telling a story, man, I'm telling it at this pace, and usually motherfuckers get all bent out of shape. Like, can you talk any faster, bro? Is there any way that you could speed this up just a little bit, man? You're fucking dragging this shit out. Like when I'm interviewing somebody, you know, and they got fucking limited time, you know, they're like, hey man, you know, we got to fucking be somewhere, man. We got catering and shit to get to, man. Think you can fucking talk a little faster, bro? When I'm on the air, I talk faster, but when I'm comfortable and with friends, you get that full blown Texas drawl.
I love it. Anyway, we're going to end it with that. I want to tell you, thank you so much for being on No Fucking Regrets. It was a pleasure having you. It was nice interviewing you instead of you interviewing me. You know, and this is a podcast. It's more like just talking, just telling stories, and not, you know, we're not selling a record or trying to get people hyped up on a tour. This is just like sharing stories. So
you don't have to edit out all the fucks and shits. And don't have to FCC it up.
This is just going as is. It's literally, this is going right to my producer and he's going to put it up by 9 p.m. tonight.
Sweet, man. Well, I can't wait I'll be spreading the fucking word without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. And I really appreciate you offering me to be on here, man. It was quite an honor. So I love checking out your podcast. So I'm fucking honored to be a part of it, my friend. Honored to be your friend all these years, man. I mean, I can't believe how long it's been. You talk about Burn My Eyes being the first album that you released. Well, that was the first album that I worked in the radio charts, being music director at 99.1 Z-Rock here in Dallas. So
shit, that's crazy.
So taking Alex, my son, to that show last January was just fucking pretty magical for me, man. After all these years and having a son now that has grown up a fucking machine head freak, being able to see that big old boy fucking standing there. And I hate to give up his Christmas present, but we were in the room with you at the show, so we didn't make it down to the merch booth. And we made it to the merch booth just in time for they were packing up the last fucking box, man. They wasn't hearing about it. So when you put on those fucking Burn My Eyes 25th tour shirts on sale a couple of weeks ago, bam, boy, I jumped on that motherfucker, lickety split, got myself one, got my kid one, man. Now we're set to go. So awesome. It's proud. It's a very prideful thing for me to know that I've been blowing you guys up through your entire fucking career as Machine Head, man. That's a fucking badass deal.
That's amazing. That's amazing. One day we'll have to talk about all your K-Rock years.
Yeah.
We'll get you back out here and talk about that. Some good shit. I remember that.
Z-Rock was some crazy shit, man. That was my first start in radio as a kid, but yeah, fuck. I never would imagine 26 years later, I would still be blasting the metal to the people. You know, I try not to let the fucking kids know exactly how old I am. I'm playing them all this fucking new metal that's coming out, you know, and they're like, motherfucker, how old are you, dude? Are you fucking over 50? What the fuck? Why are you playing this shit? Man, I will be playing that shit to my grave. I'm a metalhead until I am fucking 6 feet under. And then from there to eternity, I'm a metalhead. So that's the way it is.
Yeah. I'm going to end it with my favorite Dimebag solo right now. This is how we'll end it. I'm going to play this right here. I love this solo. Sick. So clean. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Thrashin Alan on the Dimebag tribute. The GOAT.
Long live the dime.
Right here on No Fucking Regrets.
Hell yeah.